Hey YouTube, my name is Ezekiel Gentle. This is another video. Thanks for checking it out. Today we're talking about forgiveness. Many of us grew up with a paradigm of forgiveness that required self-sacrifice in order to complete the forgiveness. That was modeled, if you grew up in a Christian home, that was modeled through the story of Jesus, right? Forgiveness comes because there's atonement for your sin. You're at odds with God, but then this atonement for your own sins through Jesus is provided, and you can be right with God yet again. There are a number of different ways to think about forgiveness. I want to offer you this alternative I just learned about, and it was through a study of, it's through this program called Managing Happiness from the Harvard Business School online, and it's called REACH, R-E-A-C-H. R stands for recall the hurt someone caused. E stands for empathize with the person who hurt you. A stands for altruistic gift of forgiveness being altruistic, and C stands for commit yourself. H stands for hold to forgiveness. The reason I want to bring this up is to talk about the power of walking away. My goal with this channel is to share my life, to share my personal experience with you guys, in hopes that for one person out there it gives some kind of inspiration, some kind of nugget of hope, some handrail to hold on to. I know I've watched YouTube videos that have helped me out of some of the darkest times of my life, and my hope is always to do something similar where, I provide something that was true for me and it helps somebody else get through what they're dealing with. I don't really have a vested interest in what religion you take on, what your faith system becomes, but it's my duty as somebody who's been given a lot to share what I know and to share how I see the world. So this is my perspective, but here it goes. You yourself hold all the power in your life, in your relationships, in your work. You hold the power. Now, some of us, if you've ever been victimized, of course, in that scenario, there's a power imbalance. Somebody has leverage over you. But outside of being abused or being victimized, let's just talk about in generalities. You have the power over your life. So why then would you let forgiveness be the reason you continue to engage in toxic behavior? Toxic behavior gets us to a low place where we think poorly of ourselves, and it models something that feels true. There's this incredible line from the movie The Truman Show where Christoph, the creator of the show, is being asked, why do you think Truman's never questioned his reality? And if you haven't seen the movie, it's about a corporation who adopts a child to make a TV show out of him, and every single part of his life is on camera. So they ask him, why hasn't he ever questioned his reality? And Christoph, Ed Harris, says this: we accept the reality with which we are presented. And I think that is so true. You're presented something as real, you accept it, and you move on, basing your entire life on this reality, when in fact, it doesn't have to be that way, and it's not even that way objectively. One of the biggest struggles I think we have is giving ourselves what we would deserve if we esteemed ourselves highly. We, as a baby, we love ourselves so much. We love ourselves. We're discovering our bodies. We're discovering how to play, how to speak. It's fun. Over time, you begin to learn how to judge yourself. You learn how to evaluate yourself. And I heard this incredible quote from a TED Talk or a workshop the other day where he said, men take about 100,000 mental images of themselves in a month. Women take over 1 million. And the reason I'm saying that is we all hold ourselves to a standard, some more than others, but we all deserve to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, to go internally instead of externally, to find that source of truth, to find that source of validation. As long as we're outsourcing our need for validation, we will always be chasing. We'll never be able to get where we want to go, because we'll never feel authentically valuable. And I know for some of you guys, this sounds like it sounds like crazy. It sounds woo-woo, and I get that. It sounded like that to me too, but I had just run my program so long that I had to find something else. I didn't care if it felt woo-woo. I was like, you know what? I'll convince myself I'm worth it. I'll convince myself I deserve unconditional love. I'll convince myself that despite any failures, despite the ability to not be who I want to be, I will still choose to deploy love and self-compassion towards myself. And I'm just imploring you to do the same thing. Wherever you are today, whatever you've gone through, whatever you're struggling with right now, if you can close your eyes and try to give yourself the love you need, give yourself the compassion you need, it's going to go a long way. Tony Robbins has this incredible question that he asks participants in his workshops. He says, which parent did you have to fight to get love from? And inevitably, people have one. Usually one parent they really had to fight to get their affection. And then his question is, who did you have to become to get that love? And the answer there is typically revealing of the mask we wear in our life to get the affection and the approval from others that we seek at a fundamental level. Our family of origin created patterns that will echo throughout the rest of our lives. So until we go into our subconscious mind, understand what we believe at our core, and then be able to address those things, we will always be running in these hypnotic rhythms. So I want to encourage you guys, because you're worth it. You have something so special inside you that this world would be, everybody would freak out if they saw how special you really are. So don't hide it anymore. It doesn't mean you have to spray and pray and just open your heart to everybody. But find a time, find a place for you to invest in that beautiful inner space where you tell yourself who you really are. And you bring in that truth of like, no, I am worth it. I do have dreams. I am going to achieve my goals. I am on the right path. And if you're not, be honest about it and find a way to course correct. All right. Like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe. I love you guys. Have a great day.